Fans, the MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to your favorite ballpark. Buy and manage game tickets, redeem special check-in offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. As Hendricks delivers up and in. It'll be Acuna, then Markakis, and then Albies. Acuna, who is 21, he does not turn 22 until December.
Love this side view we're showing here. Watch his hands and how simple they are. He's got straight up and down, barrel pointed up, and he's just going to load these nice and slow back and take this directly to the ball. It's so simple.
I tell you, there's a guy I see. I think the hair might have something to do with it, but at least early in his career.
Slight load up and just he's tardy there, but look at that. Like short to it, long through it. They talk all the time, right? I mean, that's beautiful. Who do you see?
Hanley Ramirez. Early Hanley Ramirez.
Early Hanley was an incredible hitter.
And a big lower half like rotation guy through the zone. Yeah, man, I like it.
Dan Uggla once told me Hanley's bat path is exactly the same on every single swing. And Uggla looked at me and he goes, my bat path is never the same from swing to swing. But that's how good Hanley was in his prime. Boog, that's a good call.
Most homers in a single season before turning 21. Of course, Melot 42 and 29. Tony C with 32, Al Kaline, and then Acuna with the 26 last year. Pretty incredible.
And you touched on it earlier, missing some time.
Yeah.
Right?
And there's this optical thing. I was talking about it, and again, it's subjective, but I talked about David Bodie pregame. He fits into this. These guys whose bats stay through the zone so long, it looks like they're swinging a 50-inch bat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The bat looks longer. He swings through that one. For me, Carlos Beltran was one that I felt like he was swinging like a 2x4. It seemed like his bat stayed through the zone so long.
You get that feeling. Same thing when you're catching sometimes. You're like, how did this guy miss the ball? And if we hang anything through the zone, you're going to get punished for it. And see there, that bat in there just a little bit tardy on that fastball up. But that bat is in the zone a long time. You're right, Boo.
Here's Markakis now.
And then there was Tony Gwynn's bat that looked like the smallest bat ever because it was the smallest bat ever, 32 inches, 30.5 ounces. But since he had those tiny little hands, he needed a really small bat that he could control. So, Boo, you were talking about Markakis, clubhouse guy. A few years ago in Baltimore, Buck Showalter looks at him and goes, we need a ping pong table for the clubhouse here in spring training. The next day, Markakis shows up in his truck with a ping pong table in the back. He'd gone to the store, bought it himself, came in, and with the clubhouse kids, set it up in the clubhouse. And it's still a staple in the clubhouse, the ping pong table, because he knew, Markakis, that this would help us stay together.
Last year made the All-Star team for the first time in his career. I'll tell you, Tim, you love stuff like this, but if you, and I'm not trying to make the case for Nick Markakis as a Hall of Famer necessarily, but he's got a chance at 3,000 hits. I mean, if you look at the math, and Nick Markakis in his career, he's 35 years old. He will play this entire year as a 35-year-old. Nick Markakis has 2,238 hits. If he really wanted to, he's got a shot at it, and that's pretty astounding. Don't you think? I mean, he's got a chance.
Yeah, I've been over this. He's got an outside shot at 3,000 hits, and then we're going to have an interesting decision because one All-Star team so far.
Yeah.
Juan Pierre, by the way, has the most hits ever and never made the All-Star team.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, that's in the All-Star game era, of course.
Of course. Oh, gosh. Timmy's not used to our ribbing.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yep.
That's why right there. What a nice piece of hitting.
2,240 hits now for Nick Markakis. Back to the studio. What do you say, Brig?
It's much better than the Blue Jays lineup has fared tonight against Orioles starter David Hess. 6 no-hit innings, struck out Freddie Galvis. Billy McKinney with the line out. He's done this on just 74 pitches. Baltimore in front 5-0 now in the 7th, Booth.
Oh, boy. Keep you posted on that. So now Albies up here hitting left-handed. They have the shift on. Back to Nick Markakis.
Look, I've talked a couple times about staying through the zone and long through the zone. Here's a changeup here. It's happened a couple times. Watch the lower half bend and get into this swing with that back knee and that backhand. Watch him throw it at the baseball. Look how low he gets to the ground and keeps his body through the baseball, really riding those hands up the middle to stay on that changeup. It's a lot tougher to do than we make it look. You got to be on the fastball, but staying on that good Kyle Hendricks changeup. This Braves team's done a great job of doing that tonight.
Ozzie Albies, an all-star last year. This is a young Braves team. I mean, they got some babies between Albies and Acuna. The pitching staff as well. That's well struck, right field. Hayward will watch that one hop the wall. And racing for third and stopping there is Markakis. So this batch of baby Braves doing damage here tonight, second and third. And Atlanta already up 5-0.
I think it's another changeup, just stays up in the zone. You see it there, a little flatter. These guys have really done a good job. Kyle Hendricks not getting the best results out of his changeup tonight. Ozzie Albies right there throwing the hands at that changeup in the top of the zone and really places it perfectly right center gap. It's a nice piece of hitting.
Just another hitter, Boog, that has made an adjustment this spring. You remember the second half of last year, he struggled. I asked, where did the struggle come from? And I was told he hit a first pitch fastball from Noah Syndergaard into the chop house out there. And then the pitcher said, well, you're not getting any more heaters here. He started chasing out of the strike zone and now has made the adjustment in spring training and is swinging it better. That's a perfect example right there.
Brian McCann intentionally walked to load the bases for Dansby Swanson. Yeah, for Albies, there were second half struggles. More specifically, his numbers were way worse after the All-Star break, but really what brought him down, it was struggles as a left-handed hitter. His right-handed stroke really stayed pretty consistent. It was what he did in the second half left-handed for Ozzie Albies. He hit 161 from the left side after the break. That was the problem.
Well, we don't give enough credit to, I mean, first year in the show, big leagues, you know, got a little bit of time. And that second half, man, it's a grind on your body. The pitchers make adjustments. You got to learn to slow things down when you don't feel 100%. Guys got tired. I know Freddie Freeman really put on some weight this offseason, trying to stay a little more consistent and more powerful second half of the season.
You know, this is very interesting that the Cubs are staying with Kyle Hendricks here, who has struggled. It's 5-0 here in the 5th inning. The bases are loaded, but their bullpen is already taxed. They've already used Jose Quintana, one of their starters, for 4 innings out of the bullpen in game 2. So they need Kyle Hendricks to stay in this game.
That one's going to go to the right side, and they're not going to get it out. It's thrown away. Albies racing towards the plate. He's in to score. It is all Braves here tonight.
And that will be the 5th error of the game.
Trying to make up for a little bit of a tip there off Kyle Hendricks. You could see it's really important that pitchers know where the defense is. I think we don't give that enough credit with all the shifts these days. That ball was going to be hit straight to David Bodie, who's standing right behind second base. It's just Kyle Hendricks' natural reaction to try to field that ball right next to him, catch it. no blame there. But if you know where your fielders are and you know a ball back up the middle, that was an easy 2 to get out of the inning. David Bodie trying to make a play there. Brian McCann a little bit slower of a runner. Saw him a little bit slower going to second base and threw it away.
Joe Madden out of the dugout. And the evening is over for Kyle Hendricks.
Oh, wow. You two are going to have such a great trip.
Yeah, have fun.
Thanks to you, we will. Aw, stop.
This is why Voya helps reach today's goals.
All while helping you to and through retirement.
You guys are just going for a week, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Can you help with these?
Oh, we're more of the plan, invest, and protect kind of help.
Sorry, little pause.
Right.
So, but have fun.
Send a postcard. Voya, helping you to
And through.
retirement.
Hi, I'm Renee, and for me, there's only one winner, Crunch.
Delicious 100% real chocolate embracing the lightness of crispy rice. Crunch, the chocolate bar all Americans love.
At Ace, your backyard is in our backyard, which makes it easy to take care of the things that always pop up. The grass that won't grow and the weeds that do, the bugs that need spraying and the hose that won't spray at all. You don't need a warehouse store for that. You need Ace.
Don't miss the Ace Neighborhood Yard Party this Saturday. Enjoy product demos and get expert advice on all your lawn and garden questions. So when backyard projects spring up, head to Ace.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
After walking 6 miles at an amusement park, Bill's back needed a vacation from his vacation. So he stepped on the Dr. Scholl's kiosk. It recommends our best custom-fit orthotic to relieve foot, knee, or lower back pain, so you can move more. Dr. Scholl's, born to move.
Opportunity will knock. Be prepared to invite it in. Comfort, fit, service. Get ready for greatness at Joseph A. Bank.
I was tired of having my calls dropped, and then I heard that I could get Apple Music if I switched over, and I said, boom.
The best network is even better with Apple Music on us. Plus, save big when you switch. Only on Verizon.
John Brickley back in our Baseball Tonight studios on ESPN Plus. Mets and the Marlins. Miami with the lead until Juan Lagares, his first home run of the season. Top of the 7th, ties up at 3. Starlin Castro for Miami has all 3 of their runs. For the Tigers and the Yankees in the Bronx, first sighting of a web gem tonight. Aaron Judge stretching out, robbing Nico Goodrum of a base hit. Yankees a 3-1 lead, bottom 8 as we send it back to Atlanta with Boone Sciambi.
Aaron Judge does a really nice job at right field. Doesn't get talked about a ton, and he can throw. Matt Joyce at the plate. Brandon Kinsler, the new pitcher, and Kyle Hendricks looking on. 95 pitches responsible for guys at first and second. At a tough night. 7 runs, only 3 earned. He gave up 4 in the first. It was a debacle. A debacle? We'll get back to that. Debacle.
Okay. So here's Matt Joyce, who began the spring with the Indians, thought he was going to make the club, got released, got picked up by the Giants, spent several days there, and then they said, all right, we're going to send you to the minor leagues. The Braves called. So he's been with 3 teams in like 8 days. Yep. And we were joking before, people think every baseball player makes like $20 million a year, but there are a lot of Matt Joyces out there that get moved all over the place. At the end of spring training, it's not a particularly easy life some days.
Yeah, so I saw him in spring training with the Indians, and we had a nice extended chat. Just talk, you know, over the years, he's just a good guy. He's fun. He grew up in the St. Pete area. He's one of those guys who he grew up a Rays fan. You know what I mean? Which is cool. He was at Wade Boggs' 3,000th hit, and then was
played for the Rays and great for him.
And was on the field when Jeter came up with his 3,000th hit over his head.
Oh, wow.
So we had this long chat, and then I didn't see him until on Sunday in Philadelphia, and I said, hey, you switched uniforms. And he said, twice. And then when I walked into the hotel today, the first person I saw, Matt Joyce. I said, Matt, are you sick of me yet?
I am.
Yeah, I know you are.
Oh, man.
You've changed.
I have. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That is rough, though, Timmy. You're right, man. That
bouncing around.
Bouncing around, especially wife and kids, and you're moving to city and trying to keep things as normal as possible, trying to make a team and extend your career.
Well, Rossi, I mean, in all seriousness, you had a phenomenal career.
Thank you.
And one of the things that's cool and unique, and look, it speaks to how you were valued, and I mean it sincerely, the entire time that David Ross played in the big leagues, you never went on a minor league deal. You had a big league deal every time, right?
Yeah, and I think, you know, as my career progressed, catching became a much more important, receiving, game calling. I used to talk to Dean Palmer, who lives in my hometown, and I told him after, when I signed with the Cubs, I was in Boston, I batted like $180 and got a 2-year, $5 million deal. And I'm like, can you believe that? Like, how about that with your day? Like batting under 200, getting a 2-year deal. Yeah. So we laughed about it. But yeah, the things that I did well got valued a little more as my career progressed. And thank goodness for some of the analytics in the game, because it definitely made me more money and extended my baseball career.
Oh, most famous backup catchers ever: Bob Uecker, Joe Garagiola,
Tim McCarver,
David Ross.
Yeah, Tim McCarver would be as well. Yeah,
he was more of a starter.
Steve Carlton.
Right.
I think of him as at Bob Boone's backup and matched up with Steve Carlton all those years at the Phillies is how I experienced it.
Wow. What Boone's telling you is I'm way down the list.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. Right.
Well, no,
I'm just teasing. Yes, I've been on some really good teams and been able to ride the coattails of some really good players and had some cool moments. So I'm excited.
So can I give it my I haven't dropped this one on you, but Rossi and I know this, and we say this about each other. But you know the scouting report about a guy who's maybe smaller and a little thinner, and they say he's got sneaky pop.
Right.
So David Ross, sneaky jerk. Like, you think he's a nice guy, but he's kind of a sneaky jerk. He's got a little bit of, you know what? You know what I mean? He does. Back with Peter Gammons and the sneaky jerk after this.
I'm feeling good.
Make the most of your business card with Vistaprint.
I'm feeling good.
500 standard cards start at just $9.99 with code BC Now.
I'm feeling good.
Own the now with Vistaprint.
The marching band performing a fantastic rendition of When the Saints Go Marching In.
Oh, you think so? I found the trombones to be coming in a little late there. And I also thought that the clarinets were a little pitchy.
No, sound fine.
No?
No.
Oh. Well, I would not want to be in that number, Ken.
Just okay is not okay, whether it's announcers or wireless networks. AT&T is America's best wireless network, according to America's biggest test. Now with 5G evolution, the first step to 5G. More for your thing. That's our thing.
Mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's at 58 years old.
This disease just ravages a family.
It changes your life. If we work together, we can stop this epidemic. Now is the moment.
Contact Bright Focus and learn more.
Every time it's been way too long. A Corona gets its line. Every time you're not related, but you're definitely family. Every time you meet from across the party. Every time all of us is all we need. And every time your favorite place is more about who than where. A Corona gets its line.
They made the original hot.
Ooh, hot stuff all over my nachos, walking like a taco, driving over potholes, hotter than a pot roast, fingers on my hot chips, red-handed, come on, man, I'ma need some chopsticks. I want
The original. Now it's hot.
Sweet and smoky. How did Subway know it's what I wanted?
Major League Baseball to ESPN, presented by USAA, is brought to you by Aleve, proven better on pain than Tylenol. And Corona Extra, find your beach. The Freeze with the win.
about we do something at the All-Star game and have Mr. Freeze race Billy Hamilton, Byron Buxton, D. Gordon, 4-man race?
I would love that.
I wish.
How cool would that be?
I wish at the All-Star game there was some kind of speed competition, right? And got paid so the guys would get loose. And the fear of injury for players and organizations really probably scares everybody. But like, I would love to see that.
Can Mr. Freeze beat Byron Buxton in a race?
It depends on how long would be my guess, but Buxton's pretty.
Ooh, I like watching him run.
Have you seen him this spring, by the way? He weighs 203.
Yeah.
He is jacked, and he can still fly.
I like hearing you say he is jacked. He's put together, man. He's shredded to begin with, but I hadn't seen him. I didn't get to see him this spring.
Who are some of the other guys that would be? I mean, I think you named the.
Billy Hamilton's got to be in the race.
I would think so.
D. Gordon, I said, he's got to be in the race.
Yeah. Who else? We should have the fastest and then the slowest. Wouldn't that be great?
That would be awesome. That I would be in on.
Harrison Bader can move.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some of the other.
Talking about a guy you'll fall in love with real quick, Cubs fans. This guy getting in the box right here, Daniel Descalso. Got to spend some time with him. Fun presence for that team. He talked to Torey Lovullo about him. He raved about him last year, what he did with the Diamondbacks last couple years, and everything he said is true. Really, those guys have really grown to like him and connected with some of those guys already in the clubhouse.
Well, David, you can sit this one out, but since you left, the Cubs have been looking to fill your leadership void. That's just a reality. And, you know, Theo Epstein and company, they've talked about looking for a guy that could help be a little more of that voice. I mean, look, certainly Hayward has some of it. There's no question. But I think they feel like Descalso's as close as they've come as that clubhouse presence.
And yet, Boog, in our sabermetric world, with all due respect, I don't think we add in the intangibles nearly as much as we used to and we should, because the David Rosses of the world add something to it. So does Nick Markakis. So do others. It is important in the building of a team that you have some clubhouse presence, and without it, when you take that human element out, it hurts.
Descalso flies out to the Gold Glover Enciarte. All right, two other guys to add: Delino DeShields and Gerard Dyson.
Nice.
Pretty good. Just think if we're going to run the warning track, we can only run with maybe 4 guys.
That one on the outside corner to Zagunis. Back to the studio and John Brickley.
Boog, Orioles and Blue Jays. Baltimore starter David Hess 6 1/3 no-hit baseball on 82 pitches, but the bullpen couldn't hold it. Randall Grichuk breaks up the no-hit bid with a 2-run home run, yet the Orioles lead the Jays 6-2, bottom 7.
Rossi, you catch a no-hitter?
I did.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Jake
16
Arrieta.
Jake Arrieta, man.
That was an absolute laser for Zagunis.
So Tony Pena caught the most major league games without catching a no-hitter. 1,950 games. No no-hitters for Tony Pena.
And Veritek has like 5 or 6 or something, right?
Jeff Torborg has a bunch way back. A few guys do. Ross has got his.
I got away. Really, some cool things happened my last year, obviously, but that was a highlight for me, Jake Arrieta. And I'd like to say that I called like it was all me, and it wasn't. He steered me through that thing. He had already thrown one and shook to a lot of aggressive counts. It was fun to be a part of, to see how that took place and how aggressive he was.
And that was a blasting, right? You guys hammered them.
16-0.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about it since like the 6th.
Yeah.
We were I was like, oh, don't mess this up. Don't mess this up.
I called the Sunday night one that he threw in L.A., and that was dominant. That was one, I'd say around the 5th inning, I turned to Singy, and I was kind of like, yeah, I think he's going to throw a no-hitter. Swanson handles the chance, throws him out, inning over. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. It is all Braves here in Atlanta.
Introducing freedom from the bounds of convention. 472 horses of V8 craftsmanship. 0 to 60 in 3.96 seconds. It's performance born of refinement. The 2020 Lexus RCF Track Edition and RCF. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Run with us on a John Deere X300 series mower. Because seasons may change, but true character doesn't.
Wow, you outdone yourself this time.
What are neighbors for?
It's beautiful.
Nothing runs like a Deere. Run with us. Save $200 on X330 and X350 Select Series lawn tractors at participating John Deere dealers.
We all dream about our next vacation, but some of us turn those dreams into action. The bookers, the doers, they hit that confirmation button and let's goers. Because bookers know that the perfect place to stay is right there for the booking. Be a booker at Booking.com, the world's #1 choice for booking accommodations.
March Madness got you doing the what just happened whale? Pick up a pepperoni stuffed pizzone. That's right, people. It's back. Now part of the $5 lineup from Pizza Hut. Official pizza of March Madness.
Oh, defense tonight for the Cubs. Not so bueno. Zagunis early down the line. Inciarte would eventually homer. Then Rizzo trying to start the 3-6-1. Baez throws it away. A run scores. Pop-up. Baez called it. Hesitated. It fell. Then McCann. Rizzo double clutch. Threw it away. And then Bodie had trouble getting rid of it. Threw that one away. I mean, this has been ugly. Now, last year, the Cubs, a really good defensive team. In fact, the last couple of years, athletic players, they don't shift a ton. They rely on guys when he's out there like Addison Russell, like Baez, to just go get it. And the positioning is a little more subtle than what happens with other teams. But, man, tonight, the execution, guys, it has not been good.
No, it has not, and they pride themselves on their defense and athleticism. It just haven't been there tonight.
Baez slings that one. Donaldson is out. Fans watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB at Bat Premium, allowing you to stream live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Visit MLB.tv for details. Here's Freddie Freeman now. Freeman 0 for 3.
So this is pretty amazing. Freddie Freeman's never hit a grand slam. 189 career homers, never hit a grand slam. Glenn Davis holds the record, 190 in a career without a grand slam, and Freddie's at 189, and he's one of the best hitters in the game. And that's
his swing right there as he is looking left center field. Zagunis not able to come up with it, and Freeman's got himself a double.
What's that swing right there that makes me understand maybe why he hadn't hit a grand slam, where he's trying to stay middle of the field. The most important part of his swing, as he talks about, is working that left center gap. And he take here left on left, fastball middle down, and he hits it right where he wants to. Left center, driving it. One of the most gorgeous swings in the game for me, just out of the reach of Mark Zagunis.
Again, that's a nightmare ball for a catcher playing the outfield when it's hit from a left-handed hitter that hard in that direction.
Got that little slice to it, right?
Yeah, and he hits line drives. You go back, his line drive rate since the All-Star game last year is at about 41%. Big league average is a little over 23. He's a line drive machine. And you guys touched on it, that he's basically thinking every single at bat about hitting a line drive just to the left of second base. He's thinking center, left center every time.
And why that's important for young hitters is that you want the ball to travel as much as you can. Let it get deep if you want to have a good at bat and consistently understand the strike zone and command the strike zone. If you can let the ball get a little closer, as I talked to my son, let it get to your belly button a little more, let it get a little deeper, and then put a nice swing on it. That's where your line of sight would be if you're a hitter.
And in this era in BP where guys are trying to go deep all the time, Freddie Freeman never hits a home run in batting practice because it's not what he's trying to do.
Can I ask you this, though? Freddie Freeman is great and is a bit of an outlier. Could you make the case that the idea, or at least the philosophy of letting the ball travel in 2019 high velocity baseball may not serve as many guys as it used to in the past?
I would agree with that statement.
No, I'm asking.
No. I would agree with that statement, but I would say in the era of slug and home runs, the guys play the game a little bit more out in front, a little bit more risk-taking of extending the barrel out in front to get the home run power, to get extended. But what I would tell you is the great hitters I've been around let the ball travel and get deep and command the strike zone so they can be complete. They can hit for average, they can take walks, and when they're in leverage counts, they can take that risk.
Well,
is what I've seen great players, and what, if I wanted a complete player for me, that's the guy I would like.
Well, you talk about the great players and the great players that you played with. On the ground to third, it gets away from Chris Bryant. He's not going to have a play. Is that going to be error number 6?
I think it is. That's an extremely tough play, but that's definitely going to be an error. This is another one of those opposite side balls that you don't get. You see that funny spin? It's got that side spin and just eats Chris up. Didn't have enough time to move his feet, to move over, get in front of that ball, that side spin. You see that hop takes him just off to his right side and kicks off the heel of his glove and gets away from him for an error.
E5, that's their 6th error.
Boog, we're in the 6th inning.
Yeah, and that ball that fell in left field should have been an error as well. We talked about the idea of a team error. It's just been dreadful tonight. Rossi, just to finish up on the idea of great hitters letting the ball get deep and travel. Here in Atlanta, you played with a guy that makes me think about it. He falls into the category of, it looked like he was swinging a telephone pole. The guy that played third base wearing number 10, Chipper Jones from the left side, would let the ball travel and get deep. And I can tell you, as a play-by-play guy, for 3 years watching Chipper Jones, I would always get fooled on balls he would hit to left center field because of the lack of violence to his swing, and I would think, well, that'll one-hop the wall, and it would be 10 rows deep because he stayed through the zone, let it travel. It was art how great that guy was. Up the middle, and nice play by Bodie, and then just kind of shovels it back towards Baez. Everybody's safe, a run in, and everything going the Braves' way here tonight. Heck of a get by Bodie.
This is a great get by David Bodie. I thought this ball was going to be in center field for sure. He knocks it down, fully extended, almost thinks about trying to flip it to Javi, but doesn't really have a play on there. Javi, I think, also thought that ball was going to be up the middle. Nice extension. Watch him transfer this before he lands, trying to get it to second base any way he can. Just not able to make that play, but nice effort by David Bodie.
Let's send it back to the studio and John Brickley.
Boog, let's check in Miami, where the Mets and the Marlins right now are tied up at 3, top of the 8th inning. Mets are threatening with 2 on, with Wilson Ramos at the plate as we get a live look in.
3 for 9 with a couple of home runs. Keon Broxton on deck to bat for Peterson. A walk and a hit by pitch have put 2 men aboard with 1 out. Mets have not led all night. They've come from behind twice to tie. And Ramos grounds one off the pitcher's hand. Castro steps and throws to first in time for the double play. A fortuitous bounce.
So Mets and Marlins tied up at 3 as they go to the bottom of the 8th in South Beach. Boog, back to you in Atlanta.
All right, tough break for the Mets. Nice break for the Marlins right there.
So, Boog, just to finish the point about letting it travel, Tony Gwynn was the all-time best at letting it travel and waiting that millisecond longer than everyone to see it and hit it where he needed to. And he used to set the batting tee up on the back of home plate and hit it from back there. And he showed Greg Vaughn, you can do it. You can hit it this deep. And Greg Vaughn said, I can't. And then he showed it, and Greg Vaughn hit 50 homers the next year, letting it travel.
Wow. FanDuel has new baseball modes?
Yep. I just got a $5 bonus to play. What have you been playing fantasy for?
Peanuts.
Home was right about you.
I think I'm going to try buying tires online.
TireRack.com can help you with that.
I guess I could buy the same ones I have.
No need to guess.
Our tire decision guide gives you all the right options.
Someone should invent a tire decision guide or something.
Can he not hear us?
Right now, you can get this special offer when you buy a set of 4 select hand-cooked tires. For details, go to TireRack.com/hand-cook-offer. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
FanDuel has new baseball modes?
Yep. I just got a $5 bonus to play. What have you been playing fantasy for?
Peanuts.
Home was right about you.
Brady! Yeah. Noah! I'm up.
Your arm tired yet?
No.
You good?
Wondering how they harness a rattlesnake's bite to create Taco Bell's new rattlesnake fries? You can stop. It's just a metaphor. The nacho fries you love, loaded with marinated steak and creamy jalapeno sauce. New steak rattlesnake fries, only at Taco Bell.
Welcome back to opening week baseball on ESPN. Our telecast presented by USAA. Back in Atlanta, my name's John Shambi. I'm sitting alongside Tim Kirkchin and David Ross. We're in Atlanta, and it's all Braves. Top 7. 8-0 is the score. And Bryant at the plate. And there's a strike to Chris, who has doubled, walked, and grounded out. Chris Bryant, former Rookie of the Year, MVP.
So he was the College Player of the Year, the Minor League Player of the Year, the Rookie of the Year, and the MVP. No one's ever won all 4 of those, and he won them 4 years in a row.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's how great Chris Bryant was for that stretch, and I think he's still that great now that he's healthy.
Rossi, what's it like being around him on a daily basis, the things that stand out about Chris Bryant?
I would say the great hitters I've been around and talking to Brian and even hearing some of the guys in Houston is that they're never satisfied.
Yeah.
They're always panicking about the next hit. They're always worried, right? Like, I'm like, if you guys had to come to Ballpark with my skill set, imagine how bad you'd feel. I mean, these guys literally go about their business and their work ethic, their routine. The great players, the great hitters I've seen, the routine is flawless. They know what they do well. And I would say the other thing that stands out to me is how much he can still get better.
Yeah.
Which is scary, right? he's still got a long ways to go.
And he's made improvements. You know, one of the things he came in and he was a strikeout machine, and that's really, you know, not that he doesn't still swing and miss, but it's not what it was.
Yeah.
Chris Bryant's made improvements.
First year to second year, tremendous drop in strikeouts, and that's because he willed himself and said, I'm not going to do that anymore. Not nearly as often.
I think he's in such a good place this year. I talked to him in spring training a lot, and mentally, I think just the tough season of last year did him some well. Having that injury, having some people doubt him, really toughened him up. I usually give him a hard time, and he laughs and goes about it. This spring, he was giving it right back to me.
I sense he was a little angry this spring, which is a good thing.
A good thing, yeah, it's great.
A little bit angry with the way people were saying he's not the player he used to be. People were saying the Cubs wouldn't be any good this year. It's a nice sign when your star third baseman is a little bit angry.
I tell my favorite Chris Bryant story. He was in the training room one day, and there's all this hype about him. He had 43 home runs in the minor leagues the year before. I had no idea who he really was. I came in and coming from Boston, and I was like, hey, how many home runs you have last year? He's like, 43. And I was like, not in the big leagues, you didn't.
Nice grab, Acuna.
Nice.
Really nice catch by the 21-year-old.
We just saw it on the other side with Zagunis, left-handed hitter, slicing it to left field. Acuna there, nice grab, slicing away from him, keeps his eye on, knows the wall's coming. Extends that glove and keeps it, being able to catch that ball. That was a nice play.
The thought on him is that he is and will be a very good defensive outfielder. The numbers last year were not great on him defensively, and they were okay. But part of the reason, at least internally, what they feel is that once he hurt his knee on that play in May against the Red Sox, he was very careful the rest of the year defensively when he came back. So they felt like that contributed. Again, that's anecdotal, but they think he can be a plus defender.
There's plenty of times injuries will definitely give a hesitation in the way big leaguers play. I mean, you don't want to miss that time. Injuries are so much more a part of the reason why guys struggle than I think we let on. There's so many times you see a guy have a down year and you hear in the offseason, oh, he was banged up here, or this was bothering him a little bit here, or he dealt with a hand or a knee issue all year long. I mean, you don't want the other teams to find that stuff out.
That pitch appeared to get the top portion of the strike zone. Baez here tonight got a single sandwich between a flyout and a 6-4-3 double play. Oh man, deflected to Donaldson. Just your routine 6-5-3. That's right. How you draw it up. All right, guys, we're going to practice this. Dansby.
Flip drill.
Barehanded by Josh. Stretch. Got him.
The pet cemetery brings things back. But they don't come back the same. Sometimes dead is better. Pet cemetery. Rated R.
We need a better network.
With Boost, you get a super reliable, super fast nationwide network.
Really?
Time for a switch?
Oh, I'm back.
No more resting glitch face.
Switch to Boost and get 4 lines, each with unlimited gigs for $100 a month. All on Boost's super reliable, super fast nationwide network.
Wendy's Biggie Bag, huh?
It's everything you ever wanted for just $5.
Everything I ever wanted?
That's right. A bacon double stack with a quarter pound of fresh beef, nuggets, fries, and a drink for just $5. Wendy's Biggie Bag is everything you ever wanted.
Who? MLB fans. What? Need more accuracy in the game. But how? Backed by AWS, StatCast AI uses a missile radar system That wasn't just a strike, Chief. It was a strike with a spin rate of 2,335 RPMs, dropping knowledge like a baseball bounce. With the most functionality and experience, AWS is how companies like Major League Baseball build on.
Weekends together, weekdays apart, jobs in different cities. But not for much longer. Upload your resume on Indeed.
A semi collided with a junior hockey team's bus.
That's how precious life is. It can be taken away from you in a breath.
Today, the team announced a rebuild.
Our team has to be able to move on.
John Brickley back in our Baseball Tonight studios. Mets and the Marlins available on ESPN+. Juan Lagares in the top of the 7th, tying it up for the Mets. 3-all that game in the bottom of the 8th inning. Brewers and the Reds are the focus on Christian Yelich going for a home run in a 5th straight game, yet he's been shut down by the Reds pitching tonight. 0 for 4 in this game for Milwaukee, who had a 3-0 lead, yet Yasiel Puig in Cincinnati breaking through in the bottom of the 5th. First hit in a Reds uniform for Puig turned out to be a 2-run double. Brewers and the Reds should be a great battle all year long in the NL Central, tied up at 3 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Orioles and the Jays north of the border. The story surrounding this man, David Hess, on the mound for Baltimore, shut down the Blue Jays lineup tonight. 6 1/3, no hits allowed, but he was pulled after 82 pitches, 1 walk surrendered, and a total of 8 strikeouts on the night. Yet the Orioles, coming off that impressive showing in the series opener against the Yankees, have a 6-3 lead in the bottom of the 9th on Toronto. Speaking of the Yankees, taking on the Tigers tonight in the Bronx, Brett Gardner. First home run of the season, number 97 of his career, extended the lead for the Yankees to 3-1. Meanwhile, Aaron Judge showing off the leather, coming up with a beautiful grab. For the bigger story, Miguel Andujar out with a right shoulder strain. The Yankees say there is a small tear in his labrum that could end his season. We've also got the Giants and the Dodgers coming up next here on ESPN as we get you back out to Atlanta with Boog Sciambi.
Oh, wow.
That is bad. That's terrible news.
Well, now how big is the signing of DJ LeMahieu and the return of Didi Gregorius to allow them to maybe put Tulowitzki, etc. So we'll see, but that could end up being a big deal. Wow. All right. Well, fans, Major League Baseball always live with MLB at Bat. Follow your favorite team's action with game tracking and video highlights, along with up-to-the-moment stats, standings, news, and more. Get the #1 app for live baseball. Download MLB at Bat today. All right, look at this number. Look at the television. Entering tonight, no team in the majors had more than 4 total errors. That's total errors. The Cubs have 6 tonight. Good talk, everybody.
It could be more.
Boy, what a ragged start for this team. They walked 12 guys on Saturday. Yesterday, they blew a 4-run lead and then a 3-run lead. And tonight, they have 6 errors.
Well, this is a guy that they need to get going from that pitching staff that had some walks. C.J. Edwards is a big part of that bullpen and had some struggles in Texas.
He gave up the 3-run homer to Joey Gallo to lose the game on Saturday. And you're right, Rossi, they really need this guy to straighten out because their bullpen is in trouble anyway. And if he's going to labor, then it's in even more trouble.
They had the #1 bullpen ERA in the National League last year.
Yeah.
And that was
without Morrow.
Without Morrow being healthy for them.
CJ's been working on a new delivery. You see a little bit of a pause with his front leg every once in a while, keeping his upper body over the lower body at times. He's been fooling with in spring training. Looks like he's maybe gone back a little bit. Here's his delivery here.
This is not the delivery he had the other day with nobody on base. It's much more pronounced than this.
He was doing a little Kenley Jansen kind of pump fake of the front leg that he had done a lot in spring and had some success with, but his first outing in Texas didn't go so well.
Foul back our way. Swanson and then Camargo, it looks like, and then Enciarte here. Bottom 7, all Braves, 8-0. Johan Camargo in the on-deck circle. The Cubs tonight have made 6 errors. The last time a team in the big leagues made 6 errors in a game, 2014, in the Mets. Out to center. Almora, 1 away. David Ross, what's your take as far as, you know, the bullpen? It hasn't been pretty so far, but I do think when you look at the team, I still think that there's pressure on Darvish and Lester to be good for them. You know what I mean? Like that they're trying to do something that not too many teams try and do, and that is win with older pitching.
No doubt, no doubt. And I think those are keys to this team. Darvish is definitely going to have to be a factor if this team expects to do what they want to do. I put my arm around John Lester in spring training one day, and I said, John, just so you know, everybody in this room's counting on you to go to the World Series. So, you know, no pressure, buddy, but we're going to need you to lock it in. And he laughed because he knows I'm joking, but there's some truth in that, right? Like, if we're going to be any good, I'm going to need Cole Hamels to be a stud like he can be. You're going to need John Lester. You're going to need these stars. Kyle Hendricks, a guy who's been very consistent over the years he's been with Chicago, and he'll have some he'll have some bad games, but he's been a pretty steady Eddie for the group. And Q in relief the other day pitched okay, but he's a guy that they're expecting to bounce back a little bit from his second half.
Darvish threw 57 pitches the other night before a ball was put in play.
Yeah.
The Rangers batted 10 men before a ball was put in play. That's how all over the place Darvish was. Now, he wasn't missing by a mile, but still, they're going to need like a million times better than that out of him with these older starters if they're going to be a playoff team.
And I talked to the pitching coach today, Tommy Hotovy, and Mike Borzello, the catching guy, and Darvish threw a bullpen today, and they said it's the best bullpen they've ever seen him throw. And you take that for what it's worth. You got to do it in the game, but maybe there's something that he was tinkering with or watched some video. I don't know, but you know, maybe there's something positive ahead for Darvish.
Tommy Hotovy, who's their new pitching coach. Jim Hickey, the man that he replaced, to replace Chris Bosio the year before. All right, let me ask you this, though, Rossi.
Keep them coming.
You just said it, and I understand that they are going to grab and lock on to whatever positive things that they can. But if I really put you in the truth tree, and you're out there catching that bullpen, is it a big deal that he threw a really good bullpen? Really?
No. I'm trying to say, you know, because what I saw in Texas was a disaster, right? I mean, that was not fun to watch. Right. From a guy who knows that group really well. That was not a good outing for Darvish. Like you said, he's going to need to be good. He's going to be a lot better than he was in Texas if this team's going to go anywhere. And I mean, again, even the bullpen struggled. Guys that are really consistent. Pedro Strop didn't have a great outing. I mean, there's some things, some issues. But you know, if as a group of the Cubs or any team we're talking about, if we're you know, dissecting the season over 3 or 4 games early on, I mean, we got 162. There's a long way to go, and a lot of things change over the season, as we've seen with a lot of teams. So, shoot, the Yankees lost 2 or 3 to Baltimore. Who saw that one coming?
Oh, I mean, look, I think Joe Maddon's team is going to be a good team.
It's going to be a really, really tough division. I know that.
No doubt.
Milwaukee looks really good. St. Louis is good. Pittsburgh's got great pitching. The Reds are better. The Braves don't have an easy road either. This East has got some pitching in it.
How about Christian Yelich so far?
Oh, my gosh.
Boog, he was so good in spring training, he would take 2 at-bats, hit the ball right on the button, and they take him out of the game. Yeah. Like, you can't get any better than these two. We want to leave you feeling that good.
Early, you want to see if guys are locked in. I saw him face Andrew Miller and take him left center in Milwaukee. I'm like, what the heck? This guy's still doing it.
Hey, you hit a homer off of Andrew Miller, didn't you?
I don't remember.
Oh, gosh.
Roll tape.
Turn the page. Hey, let's send it back to the studio. Here's Brick.
Boog, Orioles and Blue Jays. David Hess had a no-hitter through 6 1/3. He was pulled, and yet the Blue Jays only down a run with the tying run 90 feet away as we get you a live look in from Toronto.
That'll be foul back again off the fist. So Blyer comes in and gets the advantage at 0-2. Now you got to be very careful. They're probably going to throw a pitch out of the strike zone to see if he'll chase. But you don't want one to get away here.
Right.
Because Hernandez has got a big lead at third and would score easily on a wild pitch. Oh, and he got him. Struck him out. Well, it did not come easy, but the Orioles come away with a win in this ballgame.
So the Orioles survive with a 6-5 win over the Blue Jays on the road. Meanwhile, the Mets and the Marlins are tied up at 3-all as we get you out to Miami for a live look-in on this game. Starlin Castro, all 3 RBIs for the Marlins. For the Mets, Juan Lagares able to tie it up in the 7th inning with a solo home run. 3-3 your score, 2 on in the top of the 9th for New York.
Did hit the back. It's tough, but it clearly nicked his hand. The question is whether it also got the bat as well.
Here comes the call. He hit by pitch.
Going to uphold the call. So Mattingly does not win the challenge. Lagares is at first base. Smith moves to second with the go-ahead run. Well, the Mets have first and second and nobody out with Nimmo coming up.
And I put the bunt on again. Advance the runners to second and third.
I don't know if they're going to do that or not, Keith.
I would.
With Rosario with a right-hand hitter on deck.
I bunt him over.
It'll be interesting to see what Mickey decides to do. Mel Stottlemyre Jr. is going to the mound. I'm still in shock that Lagares was asked to bunt twice with 2 strikes.
Yes, and it makes me think that he was now that he did it.
Right.
I mean,
normally you ask a pitcher to do that. You don't normally ask a position player to do that. Still looking at that right hand, and
Nimmo has been struggling, Gary, off to a real tough start. I bunt and let Mattingly figure out if he wants to pitch to Rosario or walk him to load the bases. Got Alonso behind him.
Lagares wants a glove for that hand so he doesn't hurt it any further. They're going to bring him one now. See, it certainly sounded like a bat.
Certainly.
Right? So he's going to don that glove to try and keep from hurting that hand any further. The Marlins are looking for the bunt. They've got the corners in on the grass. Nimmo's had 1 at bat in this game. He struck out.
Oh, my.
And he is not bunting on the first pitch, and he takes outside for ball 1.
Let me ask you a question here. Look at the defense. If you bunt down the third base line, who's going to cover third base? It's conceding.
Right. That's absolutely true. They've got 3 infielders on the right side. I mean, normally the rule of thumb is that the pitcher plays the line and the third baseman covers the bag. If it goes past the pitcher, and then the third baseman has to vacate anyway, right? I mean,
yes.
If you can play a wheel play with the shortstop covering
correct.
third,
this takes away
the wheel.
Any surprise.
Well, meanwhile, Nimmo not being asked to bunt. It's 2-0, and he swings and pops one foul off the left side out of play. And I have to think that it comes down to the fact that you've got 2 right-hand hitters following against a tough right-hander, and that's why Mickey opts not to bunt with Nimmo.
Okay. Either way, I like the bunt here because Nimmo was okay. You're giving him 1 strike to swing at. It's 2-1 now. I would sacrifice, but you can't second guess one way or the other. Nimmo's hard to double off.
Well, the problem you have with Nimmo is just been striking out so much early in the season, and that's, I think, what you fear the most. 2-1 to Brandon, and he swings, good cut, fouls back a fastball, and it's 2-2. Dom Smith finding the vacated hole rolling one through the shortstop position for a base hit, and then Lagares hit by a pitch while trying to bunt. And the Mets have the first 2 men on in the 9th. Now Nimmo trying to make something of it with Rosario on deck. Two from Steckenrider, and he struck him out. So Nimmo, not being asked to bunt, strikes out for the second time.
So the Mets and the Marlins tied up at 3. Meanwhile, the Brewers and the Reds, an update from Cincinnati, top of the 9th with Christian Yelich on at second. Ryan Braun breaks the 3-all tie with the RBI double to put Milwaukee in front. 4-3 on the Reds as we get you back out to Miami for a live look-in with New York and Miami tied up at 3 in the 9th.
Who's gone 0 for 4 tonight and struck out 3 times. And he takes first pitch slider for a strike. Smith at second, Lagares at first with 1 out. Rosario 0 for 3 in his career against Steckenrider. And he lays off that slider down. A ball and a strike. Rosario went up the middle for an RBI hit in the game in Washington yesterday in the 8th inning.
Those are pitches that Rosario would have swung at last year or first half of the season. And now laying off. And see what happens now when you have a good knowledge of the strike zone. The book on him is, hey, he'll swing at that bad pitch, tight spot. Well, guess what? I didn't. I got you 2-1 now.
Seeing 3 sliders in a row. Now he gets a fastball and he hits it the other way through the hole, a base hit. Smith around third being waved home. O'Brien's throw to the plate, not in time. And the Mets have the lead in the 9th inning. Ahmed Rosario going the other way and driving in the go-ahead run. It's 4-3 New York. Well, just like he drew it up, Keith, laid off the tough sliders, got a fastball to hit.
And a fastball in. That's a good pitch. Look at the inside out. Right into the hole. Nothing you can do here. There was no shift. That's good hitting. And it sets up first and third for the inning to continue. And Dom in good shape. Scores.
Mets' last 4 hits have all been hit to the opposite field. It is a trend early in the season for this team, particularly in RBI situations. And Rosario tacks on a big hit to put the Mets in front for the first time tonight. Now
Ahmed Rosario with the go-ahead RBI single for the Mets. You can catch this game on ESPN Plus. New York up 4-3, Boog.
All right, Brick, thanks very much. As Jason Hayward wraps into the 4-6-3 inning-ending double play. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. All Braves here.
My experience with USA Air has been excellent. They really appreciate the military family, and it really shows.
With all that USA offers, why go with anybody else? We know their rates are good. We know that they're always going to take care of us.
It was an instant savings, and I should have changed a long time ago.
It was funny because when we would call another insurance company, they would say, oh, we can't be USAA.
We're the Weber family.
We're the Tennies.
We're the Hells, and we're USAA members for life.
Get your USAA auto insurance quote today. What comes with a $1 soft drink from McDonald's? $1 any size soft drink. Joy included.
Don't get mad. Put your money to work with E-Trade's easy-to-use investing tools.
Shazam! What are your superpowers?
I'd like to purchase some of your finest beer, please.
Shazam is easily one of the most fun superhero movies ever made.
Wait, what?
It's ridiculously entertaining,
I don't hear any.
unlike anything DC has done before.
Are you making some of my big speech right now or something? Oh, whatever, screw it.
Shazam, rated PG-13. Experience it in IMAX.
What comes with a $1 soft drink from McDonald's? $1 any size soft drink. Joy included.
Well, David Bodie in the middle of it due to that slide. I didn't really see anything here, fellas, but Dansby Swanson didn't like it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing, I mean, a little bit out of your way just to try to deter a little bit. Looks like nice, clean baseball to me. I mean, I don't see any, like, reaching for, trying to spike him or reach him. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. Yeah, it's just a little bit of overreaction on somebody's part.
Luke, that is not a cheap spot.
No.
There should not be benches emptying for that.
I mean, that's almost laughable.
Yeah.
This is the worst rule change that I've seen in years and years. Look, I'm all for protecting the middle infielders, but when that is enough to get people riled up, then something's wrong with that rule change.
Well, it's a change. I don't agree with you. I think that those changes are fine. I've argued with my friend Doug Glanville, and like everybody is entitled to their opinion on this one. But my thing is, this is not a contact sport. I know that we have at times think, we're tough guys and that type, but like, for a play that happens twice a game, maybe once a game, where there's contact at second and contact at home plate, it's still not a contact sport. And they've worked hard now to make it so that everybody stays safe, and it's never a contact sport. I'm fine with it.
I disagree. It is a contact sport around the bag on a double play in a critical situation. And Dustin Pedroia said it last year. He said the new rule penalizes
in a standard game. People don't contact one another. They just don't.
I'm so tired of the media talking about the RAR and the stuff. Like, this is a game with grown men. We're out there making a lot of money and competing. Like, when I go to competition with guys, I'm going to beat you any way I possibly can.
Yes.
I got to run you out over at home plate. If that's the rule, I'm allowed to do that.
Yes.
If I'm allowed to take you out at second base or make it harder for you to throw it to first base, I'm allowed to do that. That's all I saw right there.
I agree.
And when you're competing, you get after it any way you can.
I completely agree with you.
Contact sport or not, if a little bit of contact happens at times, so be it.
I have no problem with what just happened right there. I'm simply saying I have no problem with them changing the rules to make it so that it doesn't happen. There's nothing wrong with that slide for me.
Agree. There's nothing wrong with that slide. They're trying to make the game safer for the player.
Yes.
I understand that, but they're also taking away a little bit of the beauty of the game, of the competition side of it, where
it's softer.
There you go, and I don't like it. I don't like it personally.
I don't care.
That's me.
Pedroia said it last
I don't care.
I know you don't.
I don't.
Pedroia said that
that's
the
the
new
difference
rule
between media and players, is that media doesn't care, players do care.
Yeah, I mean,
Pedroia said the new rule rewards bad footwork around the bag.
I would agree with that,
and
too.
When Mike Moustakas and Travis Shaw moved to second base, they didn't even have to worry about anything because they don't need great footwork because of this change in the slide rule.
So Dansby Swanson had to jump out of the way and throw the ball and still get him out at first, and he's upset about that.
But here's the thing. Okay, now, before you crush Dansby.
I didn't crush anybody. I'm just saying, like,
But I would say he's reacting under the constraint of new rules. You know what I'm saying?
Which is all he's played under, which is rightfully so.
Right.
But like, just throw the ball to first and,
I'm with you.
Jog in. Like,
that's nothing. What just happened there is nothing.
Right. That's just a little bit, whether you want to call it soft or sensitive. For me, David Bodie's just going in and sliding a little bit to the right. Like, let's play baseball.
It has taken some of the artistic parts of the game away. Ozzie Smith Ryan Sandberg were absolute magicians around the bag to make the turn and get the heck out of the way before they got killed.
Tim, I did a Sunday night game last year. The ball wasn't in play for 26 minutes. That doesn't the ability for those guys to do their artistry now is so much less.
I agree.
It doesn't happen. So sitting there and trying to preserve the competing.
When it does, you want to see it. That's
let me give you the counter to it. You ever watch the Hal McRae stuff from the 70s?
Well, that was ridiculous.
That's stupid.
Yeah,
what is that?
Yes, agreed.
He tackled Willie Randolph.
He's tackling
6 feet past the bag. That's
Agreed.
not
So
what we're talking about.
Agreed.
Not what we're talking about.
Agreed. There's a line.
I get it.
There's a line. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll agree to disagree.
Well, I don't
Let's
even
see
know
here.
that we're really disagreeing. We're going to go back to Brick.
Thanks, Boo. Mets offense breaking it open in the 9th against the Marlins on ESPN+. Pete Alonso, according to Keith Law, one of the top 100 prospects coming in. His first career home run, a 3-run shot. Mets opening it up 7-3 in the bottom of the 9th. 2 outs, though, in Cincinnati. Brewers holding on to a 4-3 lead. Josh Hader on the mound as we get a live look-in from Cincinnati.
Fastball once again down the middle, and he hits it pretty well.
Yeah, on a night when the temperature is in the 30s, that's an out. You get here in July, and that's got a chance to either hit the wall or go over.
Yep.
So it'll be Yasiel Puig. One more piece to the puzzle for Josh Hader. He's only faced him twice, has Puig. He's 0 for 2. That includes the postseason. Puig drove in 2 with a double in the 5th. 2 outs, 9th inning. And Puig fouls it back. He was ready to pull the trigger.
You see what these pitches are? Getting a lot of the plate tonight. That pitch down the middle. Still nothing but fastballs from Josh Hader this year.
Lorenz in the pinch runner after the Casale double. A leadoff double against Hader from the pinch hitter and the backup catcher. Brewers went ahead in this 9th. Back-to-back 2-out doubles by Yelich and Braun. Here comes Hader, and Puig takes a fastball high. That's been his best bullet yet. 95 with the fastball. Maybe Hader's getting loose. He is the finishing piece to a bullpen that very few big league teams can claim. A talent like Josh Hader, he is starting to move into that elite role and one of the best in the game. But he's got the tying run behind him at second base. 1 ball, 1 strike. Puig pops it up. Foul territory and playable. Grandal is there, and he's got it, and the ball game is over. Hader closes.
Brewers get the victory 4-3. Christian Yelich, on a side note, 1 for 5 without a home run, Boog.
Pretty good stuff. Josh Hader right now, I think, Tim Kurtz, you make the case, is he the best reliever in the game?
I think he is. His first 30 pitches he threw this year were all fastballs because nobody had hit it. He had 7 strikeouts and had an immaculate inning, 9 pitches, all strikes, 3 strikeouts.
He is a fun guy to watch. You see him just absolutely dominating hitters. The ball jumps out of his hand.
That guy's happy.
He's excited. Baseball fan. I kind of into baseball fans wearing their team's gear to other parks and just enjoying a baseball game. I get the biggest kick out of that when I go to the parks and see other stuff, other guys' gear.
Yeah, just random. Yeah. Absolutely.
This is a guy who's a welcome addition, Brad Brock, for the Cubs. This is another guy they've fallen in love with. They picked up this offseason that Joe told me today that he really likes this guy.
Did nice work with the Orioles for sure, and
here in Atlanta last year.
Back when, right? And then and then definitely a guy who can help. Braves a season ago mentioned their offense. 4th in runs per game. They were 5th in on base, 5th in slugging. So 2 stats that correlate most with run scoring. It's a good offensive team. I think they should score again this year.
Yeah. A little more experience too under their belt, learning how to handle that second half for some of these young guys, and that playoff atmosphere. You can't replace getting to the playoffs and being in that atmosphere, and the experience you draw from that and learning how to win in that environment. So important for a young team that expects to be there year in and year out.
Tommy Hotovy out to the mound, and all Braves here tonight. Fans Major League Baseball on ESPN is presented by USAA, insurance, banking, and investments tailored for the military community. The Brian McCann homecoming here tonight, and he helped get the scoring started in the first with a big knock. And here he is. He was so much fun. That one gets away. Let's see whether it'll be a wild pitch or a pass ball as Markakis goes down to third. Albies down to second.
Well, you were here doing Braves games when he was a young buck,
youngster, right? Yeah, and it was, and he was wonderful. He's a sweet young kid who was learning how to play, and he was kind and ultra competitive, both. You know what I mean? But fun to talk to, and just he loved to play. In the beginning of his career, the weight was a little more of an issue for him, and he really, he got himself to a place where that was not a problem for him throughout his career. He was able to stay, fit enough, and there were so many different things I loved about my interactions with him. Like, he would probably 3 or 4 times a year just clean out his locker because he was messy.
He's a filthy animal. We talk about all the time. It's awful.
And I would just stand there with him as he would go through stuff in his locker. I mean, to the point where he's sitting there going through his locker, and all of a sudden he pulls out a one of those skull caps, the helmets that you wear backwards to catch, and he's like, I've been looking for this. This is the one that I love. It fits so great. I didn't realize it was back there.
He's a mess.
I mean, that's him, right, Rossi?
When you walk into his hotel room, it looks like somebody took a suitcase out and put every piece of clothing all over the hotel room. It's everywhere. Like, hey, man, can I get a seat on your couch? You've got a suite here. There's 3 rooms, and somehow, like, you've got a pair of pants in each room hanging up from a lamp or something. I mean,
the nickname early in his career was appropriate. They called him Heap.
Yeah.
Tapper, that one off the pitcher, out to Bryant, slings to first. Heck of a play by Chris Bryant. And a night of defensive miscues by the Cubs. They have turned in a couple of gems. That one right there. Bryant grabs and throws.
I was tired of having my calls dropped. And then I heard that I could get Apple Music if I switched over. And I said, boom.
The best network is even better with Apple Music on us. Plus, save big when you switch. Only on Verizon.
So I can buy from Enterprise Car Sales, and you'll take any trade-in.
That's right.
Great. There you go.
Well, it does need to be a vehicle.
But I need this out of my house. With fair, transparent value for every trade-in, Enterprise makes it easy.
Guys, we all get to a stage in our life where we've earned ourselves an upgrade. Age sets in. He's not as hot as he used to be. Should have been sent to the curb a long time ago. Which is why I upgraded.
Here we go.
To a Napoleon grill.
Maybe I deserve the upgrade. Good one, Mom. Yeah. Really, really funny.
I thought it was funny.
When the fire goes out in your grilling relationship, upgrade to a Napoleon. Upgrade your grilling game.
No. Trade 1,000 shares at the figure. Hi, I'm Sparrowhawk, and this is my crunch.
Delicious 100% real chocolate embracing the lightness of crispy rice. Crunch, the chocolate bar all Americans love.
March Madness got you doing the what just happened wail? Pick up a pepperoni stuffed pizzone. That's right, people. It's back. Now part of the $5 lineup from Pizza Hut. Official pizza of March Madness.
This is Nelson, the volunteer who puts care into everything he does. We asked him to put our hydrating body wash to the test.
After a long day, it's really important to have body wash that's cleansing and hydrating for my skin.
Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash rinses clean and rehydrates.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
John Brickley in the studio. A reminder, Giants and the Dodgers, game 4 of our quadruple header on ESPN, starting over on the ESPN app. We'll move over to ESPN at the end of the Cubs-Braves game in Atlanta.
All right, look forward to that. Dave Fleming, Eduardo Perez.
So it appears the Braves are going to win tonight, so they were the last winless team, and it reminds me of the '88 Orioles that I covered, who lost their first 21 games to start a season.
Could you imagine that, David?
I think that is literally the first memory I have of Major League Baseball. I didn't grow up watching a lot of it. I'll never forget the coverage of the Orioles and how bad they were, and everybody watching until they won.
Right. Well, I covered every one of those losses.
That sounds like a fun job,
After
Jimmy.
loss number 18, Frank Robinson took the writers out for dinner for a guest support or something. So Frank was a big kidder, but I asked him, has anyone interesting called you during this streak? And he said, yeah, the president called me today. Frank, a big kidder, I pushed him 3 times, and finally he said, damn it, the president of the United States called me today. I said, Frank, what did he say? He said, Frank, I know what you're going through. And Frank said, Mr. President, you got no idea what I'm going through. 0-21. 0-3 seems like, when are we going to ever win? They went to May 1st without winning a game. 0-21.
That would be my worst nightmare, Boog. That would definitely be my worst nightmare. 0-21, your season's over. We're not even in the first month. Done.
Yeah, done.
Done.
So they finally won, then they lost the next 2. So they went home 1-23. And we looked at the schedule and thought, oh my goodness, there's like 138 games left, and they're hopelessly out of it. It was quite an experience for a writer to try to figure that out, and much more of an experience for the players.
Man.
Kyle Schwarber not pleased. 1 up, 1 down as Aroldis Vizcaíno gets him. All Braves here tonight, 8-0. They've gotten help from the Cubs, who have made 6 errors. Coming into tonight, no team had made more than 4 total errors. Not in a game, total.
And they've got 27 walks their pitchers do so far this year. 6.5 per game. They lost a game on a walk-off wild pitch. And it's been a very difficult start for the Cubs.
Aroldis was here when I was here, talking about his journey. Came over to trade from the Braves.
Yeah.
I mean, from the Yankees to the Braves. Then went to the Cubs, and then back to the Braves.
Yeah.
It was nice to see him in the dugout today. I remember him being here in rehab, and he was coming off Tommy John surgery.
One and 2 now. Just missed. They're having a good time in the outfield. I mean, look, it's the home opener. And, oh, yeah, there it is. It's like champagne.
Oh, man. With all the errors tonight, that's another
I was
one for
going to
the
say,
Cubs.
that's the Cubs defense right there. Oh, boy. Markakis. That one hits the base of the wall on a fly. And Zagunis into second. That's his second hit, so he's 2 for 4. 1 out double. We will be back here on Wednesday. John Chumby, Tim Kirch, and David Ross will have the Braves and the Cubs. It'll be John Lester for the visitors, Julio Teheran for the home side.
And Rossi will be catching on Wednesday night, right?
Are you catching?
No, but I'm going to call the game from up here for everybody, so tune in.
All right, we won't make you do it. Ouch, Brian McCann. Where'd that get him?
I think in the knee. I don't know that. No, well,
no.
Not the boys. Look away. Oh, back door.
Oh, God.
I don't even have the words, Timmy.
You must cringe more than the average person when you see that.
That is not fun. Yeah.
You're wearing a cup right now, right?
Oh, my secret's out.
Albies out there, pulls it down.
Oh boy, game ends. How classic is this? The game ends that the Cubs forgot how many outs there were.
Wow.
At least potentially.
Zagunis just kept on going. It ends up a double play, and it ends the game. My goodness.
Maybe he thought it was going to drop. I don't think so.
That'll do it from Atlanta. 8-0. Braves over the Cubs up next. Dodgers and the Giants from L.A. For Tim Kirchin, David Ross, and our entire outstanding crew. I'm John Chambi saying so long from SunTrust Park. We send it out to L.A. Dave Fleming, Eduardo Perez.
All right, we welcome those of you joining us from that Braves-Cubs game. From Atlanta, we come all the way to the West Coast. A beautiful Southern California night. Dave Fleming, Eduardo Perez here from Dodger Stadium. And the first edition of the Giants-Dodgers rivalry in 2019. Corey Seager takes outside. And another full count against Giants starter Drew Pomeranz, making his first start in a Giants uniform against a Dodgers offense that through the first 4 games has been just spectacular.
It really has, and they've worn out pitching. Last series case, it was the Arizona Diamondbacks because they worked counts. They were deep into counts, forcing pitchers to come all over the plate.
They're doing it again. Seager hits a foul ball. Justin Turner had a 9-pitch at bat, drew a walk. He's at first base, and now we're having another long at bat. This will be the 9th pitch coming up to Corey Seager.
Got fouling pitches just outside of the zone, making sure Larry Vanover behind the plate does not get to make the call. 3-2.
80-plus degree day here in Southern California. That is strike 3 call. Larry Vanover is not a broadcaster-friendly home plate umpire. He likes to delay the call, but he rings up Seager 2 down.
Again, this is exactly where Pomeranz wanted to throw it. Buster Posey right there. Locks that pitch in right there in the bottom half of the plate. Look at the 3D K zone. Talk about painting this inning. That's exactly what Pomeranz has just done in that at bat.
You know, it's interesting for those of you who just joined us here in L.A. 21 pitches, 3 hitters. A.J. Pollock takes the breaking ball in for a strike. You might think, well, Pomeranz is struggling. He has made some beautiful pitches.
He really has. He's got good velocity, too. He's been throwing 93 to 94 miles per hour. Good tail on the fastball, too. Keeping everything down.
It's only a half of an inning, but this is the guy the Red Sox traded for a couple years ago. He was one of the best lefties in the game. He might have gotten away with one there against A.J. Pollock. And Drew Pomeranz, who had a great pedigree as a college pitcher. He was a high first-round draft pick, and he has had a lot of big league success. 2016, 2017 in particular. Last year with the injury problems and the ineffectiveness was just a disaster, so he's looking for a bounce back.
Yeah, when he got traded to the Red Sox, the one thing that he looked was over his shoulder to that wall. He's like, how do I get outs? Instead of just trying to execute his pitches.
Again, he left a pitch out over the plate in an 0-2 count. Pollock fought it off foul. You do that against these Dodgers, though, ultimately they burn you.
They do. They've had a knack of being able to hit well behind in the counts. Their hitters meetings are completely different than what these players were accustomed to in the previous years.
Well, we'll get into that a little bit. They do have a new hitting coach despite all their success. 2 straight National League pennants. 0-2 outside with the fastball. He's still throwing hard, Pomeranz. There were a lot of times last year when he was healthy with the Red Sox. He was throwing 88 when he was healthy, I say, when he was on the mound pitching. There is Robert Van Scoyoc. He's 32 years old.
And Brent Brown to his left, the hitting strategist.
So you have a hitting coach and you have a hitting strategist.
And an assistant hitting coach.
That one to Longoria, and he'll take down Turner, the lead runner at second. Through an inning in LA, no score. Major League Baseball on ESPN is presented by USAA, insurance, banking, and investments tailored for the military community, and in part by the new Wendy's Biggie Bag. Price and participation may vary.
With no choice but to move back home after college, they thought he'd be a little more motivated to find a job. Turns out, they were right. Upload your resume on Indeed.
Where are we gonna go to school now?
I'm gonna find you somewhere real nice to go.
Not gonna have black kids going to Tim's school.
What you so afraid of?
We're gonna give you your chance to speak. Are we good now?
Not yet.
The Best of Enemies, rated PG-13. Wondering how they harness a rattlesnake's bite to create Taco Bell's new rattlesnake fries? You can stop. It's just a metaphor. The nacho fries you love, loaded with marinated steak and creamy jalapeno sauce. New steak rattlesnake fries, only at Taco Bell.
No, he didn't. Oh, yes, he did. Let's go Mets.
Rivalries are tough.
Go Nats! That's not what this says.
Saving money with Geico
What is
easy. Geico, proud partner of MLB.
John Brickley in our Baseball Tonight studios. Earlier tonight, Mets and the Marlins. Mets had a 7-3 lead, yet Edwin Diaz looking to close it out. Loaded the bases and would rally, though, striking out the side, including J.T. Riddle with the bases loaded. Mets come away a winner 7-3 in a game in which Pete Alonso, the highly touted prospect, came up with his first career home run. Diamondbacks and Padres in San Diego. Adam Jones loves his hometown. Leadoff home run, his 4th career home run in San Diego. A 2-0 lead for the Diamondbacks, Dave.
Thank you, Brick. Well, it is true. Adam Jones didn't used to go to San Diego very often, and yet when he showed up, he performed well.
Home cooking.
Diamondbacks are just thrilled to be out of here. Here's Buster Posey leading off for the Giants, inning number 2. The Diamondbacks got roughed up. They had never given up more runs in a 4-game series in their history. They allowed 42 runs this weekend to the Dodgers. Posey limited to 105 games last year, had the surgery to repair his hip, which had been bothering him for a couple of years. He is healthy. You mentioned, though, Eduardo, one challenge for Buster. Great player, potentially at the end of his career a Hall of Fame player. That one is called a strike. Urias got an inch or so off the plate. It's 2-1. But it could be for Buster Posey. Part of the challenge is unlearning some of the habits he got into when he was in so much pain, discomfort at the plate. He drives that one towards center field. Well hit. Pollock sprinting back, and he will get there to make the catch.
Yeah, you start compensating when you have pain anywhere, especially in your lower half. Buster Posey, one thing I noticed during batting practice, watch that right elbow. See how it's up away from his body. When he was going well, he had that elbow tight to his body, and you could see more carry, especially right center field. Right now, yes, he's barreling it, but he's not in one piece, and that's one thing that Alonzo Powell is trying to work with him on, trying to get back to where he was. He feels without pain. It's just a matter of now getting the mechanics down right.
Brandon Crawford for the Giants. I'm not a hitting coach. I'm not near the hitting expert that you are, but to me, that sounds like an issue. He had no lower body last year. It was an all-arm swing.
It was an all-arm swing, and again, it's more of the compensation aspect of it, of going around the baseball a little bit. He barreled it. It sounded nice, but the power is still not there. He feels like he's not in his legs. I thought he was. It's just the upper body a little bit. Shows a little frustration going, man, I barreled that ball.
He hit it 101 miles an hour. You hit a ball like that, typically you're expecting to get a hit out of it. But not that time for Buster Posey. Dave Fleming, Eduardo Perez here from Los Angeles. And it is a huge key for the Giants, because you talked about it at the top of our show. The Dodgers have all this depth. They have all these options, platoon options. The Giants are leaning on their experienced players. They got to get production from them.
They are, and there's so much pressure on the veteran guys to be able to produce. There's just a lot of pressure on them. But one thing, talking about Buster Posey, again, on that swing, that focused one from center field, saw the elbow being away from the body. Yeah, away from the body. What you want is that elbow to be tight to your body right here. That way you're working your core the whole way and you keep finishing high. Again, see, look at that right elbow. It's away from the body right there. We need that to be a little bit tighter. And when it's tighter, now you have more strength to be able to drive that ball to right center field where it's his natural swing. That's where he's always made his money, and he will continue to do so. It's a long season. Early on, the adjustments will come, especially playing every day.
We'll tell Buster the first one's complimentary.
Yeah. That's a 7-0 discount I'm giving him there.
Couple of old Florida State stars, one to another. Is Buster Posey the greatest Florida State player of all time?
J.D. Drew is up there. Buster's right there too.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He's definitely the most successful on field as far as winning championships and being as an impact. But J.D. Drew put some monster years at Florida State.
In college, you're right.
Yes.
Although Buster did as well. Connor Joe, who was in the Dodgers organization, now with the Giants, takes that changeup.
It's a good pitch.
Made his major league debut on opening day. Giants have very little experience in the outfield. They're giving some at-bats to this young guy. It was a good take. I don't know how you take that pitch with 2 strikes. That one hit right back up the middle, but the Dodgers defense playing it perfectly. And Connor Joe squared it up. That's what the Dodgers do. It's not just pitching, it's pitching and defense in LA. Meanwhile, Buster Posey and the Giants thinking, man, we hit some balls hard that inning. What'd they get for short for?
We switched.
I switched.
We switched.
I switched to Chevy.
I switched to Chevy.
We switched to Chevy.
We switched for value.
For family.
For power.
It was time to upgrade.
I switched from a Ram to a Chevy.
See why people are switching to Chevy.
We love our Chevy.
I love my Malibu. My Colorado. My Camaro.
Our Traverse. Why do we switch? Just look at it.
What comes with a $1 soft drink from McDonald's? $1 any size soft drink. Joy included.
There's a place that brings things back. The Pet Cemetery.
Based on the novel by Stephen King.
But they don't come back the same.
Pet Cemetery. In theaters Friday. Rated R.
What are you expecting from your team the first few games? Any predictions for this season?
Yeah, we're just going to take it one game at a time.
Es un honor estar aquí en Grandes Ligas.
We're going to have a good team. We're excited.
We're going to win this World Series and the next one.
Oh, y la próxima.
Supongo que nos veremos en octubre.
28 World Series championship sounds pretty nice, doesn't it?
How many were you a part of?
I remember winning my first ring.
I only got room for 9 more.
0.0 ERA.
Nice.
Sabes que no eres un superhéroe de verdad.
I'm going to hit 50 home runs this year.
I'm going to hit 60, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75.
I'm going to hit 80 home runs.
No, we can't do that. We can't do that. Postseason.
Postemporada.
MVP.
MVP, huh? Dynasty.
I feel sorry for the baseball.
Mike, anything you want to say?
Just let the kids play.
Welcome back to opening week baseball on ESPN, presented by USAA. David Freese hitting fifth tonight for the Dodgers against Drew Pomeranz. Takes a pitch high for ball one. Dodgers made Pomeranz work on this gorgeous night here in Southern California. The sun setting underneath the Pacific Ocean. We're not that far from the ocean here in downtown LA, Chavez Ravine. Giants Dodgers. Hard to beat. Freese took a big cut. It's 1-2. Freese, who will play maybe not every game against a left-handed pitcher, but he'll play a lot. One of those Dodgers platoon players. Excellent pinch hitter. He asked for time. Pomeranz pitched,
late,
and it was granted very late.
Very late. Buster Posey did not like that at all. Usually you do not see umpires give you this. He's ready to go. He asked for time. I mean, there's no reason right there to give him time on that.
So Pomeranz, a very even-keeled guy on the mound, but he wasn't real happy. You could tell. Bounces a curve. He threw a better curveball on the practice pitch.
Maybe not, because you don't want to really, if you're a lefty, you don't want to throw curveballs for strikes late in counts. You'd rather go for the chase there. Those hangers go a long way.
2-2. That one was top foul. Toward the Dodger on deck circle, we got a glimpse of Cody Bellinger, who is waiting to hit next.
What a good fit. David Freese, coming from the Pittsburgh Pirates last year. He came up with some big hits in postseason.
The mix of Bellinger and the young guys and some experience. David Freese. They have a good thing going here. A lot of foul balls in the first inning, plus a hitter.
One thing I noticed going into that clubhouse today, hanging around, you don't see a lot of egos. It's everyone, they understand what their goal is, and they've been working hard at it since they lost the World Series here to the Boston Red Sox.
Well, we're going to have Andrew Friedman on with us in the third inning, and Farhan Zaidi. That may never have happened before. They're going to come on with us, the two guys who run the baseball operations for these two rivals. Of course, they have known each other for a long time, so they're going to join us. One thing we might ask Andrew is about that hangover effect. I think last year there was a definite hangover with the Dodgers. They started off slow. They weren't swinging the bats well. The disappointment of coming up, coming so close, but coming up short against the Astros in 2017. This year seems to be a whole different mindset.
Experience. Again, you go to the World Series twice, you come out losing them twice, but you know what your faults were at the beginning of last season, and that was the start of the season.
Fastball too far in. David Freese having another long Dodgers at bat. This will be the 10th pitch coming up to David Freese. 5 hitters have been at the plate. 3 of them have seen 9 or more, including this guy. I think he went around. He did. Strike 3. Pomeranz got him to chase that high fastball. So 1 out, and Cody Bellinger comes up. Yelich, Goldschmidt off to hot starts, but nobody's been hotter than this guy.
And it's actually not even the swings, it's the takes that he has to get to those swings that have made it so special for him. He's forced pitchers to throw the ball over the plate, not chasing the off-speed pitches in the dirt, the changeups down and away. So far, he's shown that maturity through the first 4 games of the season.
He's got 4. The Dodgers have 14. They hit 8 on opening day. 8, an all-time Major League record for opening day home runs. And he's 10 for 20. So I think 2019 is agreeing with Cody Bellinger so far.
I thought the most impressive part of that opening day when they hit 8 was not the total amount of home runs, but was the total amount of strikeouts that game. They had 3 strikeouts that game. They averaged just under 9 strikeouts per game last year.
Another base hit for Bellinger through the defense.
Again, look at the count. Laid off 2 pitches. 2-0 off-speed pitch right there. Barrels it once again.
Number 3, Chris Taylor.
Off speed, stays back, 81 miles per hour. You see the knuckle curve right there. Barreling it through the infield, which was shifted against him. Good extension. That bat head stayed in the zone long enough.
Well, that's the first hit of the game on either side. And Chris Taylor comes up with 1 out. Bellinger is a big guy, but he can move. So chase down a fly ball in the outfield. You got to pay attention to Bellinger on the base paths. Very good year last year for Chris Taylor. Maybe not quite as spectacular as his Dodgers debut a couple years ago.
Started off really slow last year. That set him back a little bit.
Still a super important part of this team. That one just misses.
Last year he had to play shortstop most of the time. I think his focus was more on defense than anything else. Now he can be that super utility player. Play a little bit of second, left field. Once in a while, spell Seager at short.
Ground ball off the foot. That's going to ricochet into no man's land. So even that is going well for the Dodgers these days. That'll be another hit for Taylor. 2 on, 1 out for LA. And let's get another update in studio.
Dave, talk about things going well for Chris Davis and the Athletics. Home run number 5 on the season. Is there a hotter bat right now in Major League Baseball in opening week? A 1-0 lead as the struggles for the Red Sox continue with their starting pitching. Maybe Tim Beckham, Mariners and the Angels. Beckham, 2-run double. He's batting .458 so far with 8 RBIs for the Seattle team, who has been on cruise control with a 4-1 lead on LA, guys.
Thank you, John. Well, Eduardo, you and I were in Tokyo. We saw Chris Davis homer on opening night at the Tokyo Dome. We saw Tim Beckham just light up the A's pitching all series long.
Yeah, and they've continued to rake. They really have. Tim Beckham against the Red Sox also did some damage. And Chris Davis, I think any fan that's gone to an Oakland Athletic game has seen him just beat down on pitching.
Nobody's had more home runs the last 3 years in Major League Baseball than Chris Davis. 2 on, 1 out. Dodgers put pressure on Pomeranz. That one is slowly hit. Can the Giants turn 2? That's 1. That's 2. Double play. Beautiful turn at second by Panik. Started by Longoria. Pomeranz gets the ground ball and gets through the trouble. So it's not just the Dodgers who can pick it clean. We've seen good Dodgers defense. That was well turned.
Yep. Go Glover to Go Glover to Bell.
I'm feeling good.
Make the most of your business card with Vistaprint.
I'm feeling good.
500 standard cards start at just $9.99 with code BC now.
I'm feeling good.
Own the now with Vistaprint.
10 years ago, I had an undiagnosed heart condition, and erectile dysfunction was actually the first sign that something was wrong.
Luckily, I'm a doctor, an expert in sexual health, and Zach's dad.
Not everyone has a doctor in the house, and some health conditions can be really tough to talk about. We started Roman to change that.
Now you can go online and chat with a physician.
And if treatment is right for you, we'll ship FDA-approved medication right to your door. If you're experiencing ED, hair loss, cold sores, or other issues, let's take care of it.
I'm feeling good.
Make the most of your business card with Vistaprint.
I'm feeling good.
500 standard cards start at just $9.99 with code BC now.
I'm feeling good.
Own the now with Vistaprint.
a dazzling place I never knew. A new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming. Let me share this whole new world with you.
How do we tell people they get the best of both worlds with Sprint?
How about we get two-sport legend Bo Jackson?
So, guys, you don't need me. Just tell people they get a great network and a great price with Sprint.
Yes, you can get an unlimited plan and the super cool all-new Samsung Galaxy S10e for just $35 a month on an LTE advanced network that's up to 2 times faster than before.
Bo does know.
Switch and get an unlimited plan with the new Galaxy S10e lease included for just $35 per month. No trade-in required.
Aerial coverage tonight provided by Goodyear with superior performing tires that knock it out of the park. Goodyear, more driven. Great scene here in LA at Dodger Stadium following that game that took place in Atlanta. The Braves and the Cubs, first game of their series, home opener for the Braves. The third game of the series, actually I guess that'll be the second, because they'll take tomorrow off to protect opening day. Wednesday, 7 Eastern, John Lester, Julio Teheran, the opening day starters for the Cubs and the Braves, and we'll have it for you right here on ESPN. Good bounce back for Atlanta. Meanwhile, the Cubs gave up 8 runs today. We saw them give up 11 yesterday, lost 2 out of 3 to Texas. Some pitching questions for that Cubs team that has huge expectations for the year. Gerardo Parra is going to lead off for the Giants, one of the new Giants, against 22-year-old lefty Julio Urias. He misses high with a fastball. Had a good year with the Rockies.
He did. Signed over here to play mostly against right-handed pitching.
Not tonight.
So when his name was in the lineup, it's funny. I was talking to Bruce Bochy before the game, and he goes, Gerardo goes up to Skipper, and he goes, "Hey, Skip, I thought I was signed just to play against righties. What's going on?" He goes, "Get used to it, buddy. Get used to it."
The old baseball line for a guy who doesn't play much and then gets forced into some playing time. Bench me or trade me. Swing and a miss on the fastball, and that's not what Parra wants to play.
No, not at all. Not at all. It was jokingly with his manager, and I think that's great. Veteran guy can go up to the Skipper and have some fun with him. Bruce Bochy, what a career.
And he has announced that this is going to be his final year, in case you missed that bit of baseball news from spring training. One day he will be in the Hall of Fame, one of the great managers of all time. Parra, did he go? Yes, he did. At strike 3, third strikeout for Urias. Bruce Bochy, who was a catcher for a long time in the big leagues with the Astros, with the Mets, and then most famously with the Padres. He stayed in that organization as a coach and then a big league manager for 12 years. Almost all of their success, the Padres franchise success, came under Bochy. He comes to San Francisco. This is his 13th year, and how many of those does he have? 1, 2, 3 World Series trophies, one of 10 in the history of the game. Managers with 3 championship wins.
So Bruce Bochy left on his own from San Diego to go once his contract expired, and then went to San Francisco.
It was complicated.
It was complicated.
The Padres, he had a year left on his deal. He was this franchise icon in San Diego, beloved down there. They'd had a couple playoffs, and they'd been to the playoffs 2 years in a row, like 3 out of the last 5 years. But there was a little anxiety about not being able to get back to the World Series, and I think he was basically told, yeah, if another opportunity comes along, maybe it might be smart for you to think about it.
So he's never been fired as a manager. I mean,
never been fired.
And that's, to me,
25 years, never been fired.
That's impressive. That just tells you the communication that he has, not only with the players, but with the front office. They love playing for him.
Joe Panik, who had quite an opening series here last year. It had never happened before in baseball history. Back-to-back games to start the year. Panik hit solo home runs. The Giants won both of those games 1-0. The only run of both games came on Panik home runs, and he hit 2 more the rest of the year. So he's another Giant looking for a bounce-back season. That one almost hit him. It did hit him. And that'll be the first Giants base runner with the pitcher coming up, and let's get an update with Brick.
Dave, Robinson Trianos haunting his old team. Astros and the Rangers tied for 1 in the 6th. Trianos with a go-ahead score on this base hit. Houston, who had George Springer come up with his 25th career leadoff home run, take it 2-1 in Arlington over Texas. Meanwhile, the Red Sox woes continue. Their starting pitchers came in with an ERA of 13.20 tonight. David Price giving up his second home run. 2-0 Oakland, bottom 3.
The swinging A's with all that home run power. Pomeranz pops up the bunt on the first pitch.
Urias had to let that ball drop.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody was trying to help him out with that.
Yeah, that's where you have to let that ball drop right there. And one of the big reasons is you look at the pitcher. Once he bunts it, he really doesn't get out of that box in a hurry. He stops right there. You let that ball drop, step on first, tag the runner, and you're out of the inning. I guarantee you look at third base, and Turner was yelling at Urias, let it drop, let it drop.
And the teaching point there, aside from what you're talking about, okay, somebody's trying to help him out, he's got to let it drop. The pitcher, if you do that, you've got to run.
You have to run.
If you don't run, you're vulnerable to that double play.
I guarantee you, if it's Justin Verlander, see, he's letting him know, let it draw, let it fall, let it fall.
He was, for sure.
Veteran pitcher, they don't need that assistance from the side. They know exactly what to do.
So runner at first, 2 down. Steven Duggar's second at bat. And it's strike 1, lefty against lefty. One and 1 to Duggar. Well, the one thing about the Giants in San Diego, the offense, it was ugly. The pitching was solid. The defense was solid. The Giants kept all of those games close. They won 1 of the 4. And already we're seeing at least a little difference from the Arizona series here in L.A., where the Dodgers were just bludgeoning the Diamondbacks. And I think we figure these teams will meet 19 times this year. And even if there's a talent mismatch on paper, this rivalry, there will be a lot of close games played between the Giants and the Dodgers. There always are.
Yeah, it's a beautiful rivalry that they have. Just got more interesting too. I think hopefully in the bottom half of this inning we'll see why.
A new chapter to this Giants-Dodgers rivalry that goes back 130 years. Good fastball, 1-2.
Okay, this is where Steven Duggar now has to understand how they got him out the first time. They sped him up top, and then they went to the curveball, down and in. He didn't chase, and then he went to the changeup. Let's see if the same pattern comes again with Duggar.
First, they'll check on Panic at first.
Watch the strike. See the changeup grip. This was the strikeout pitch. Down and in. Looking up and away. Urias changed the elevation and speed.
Fastball, and Duggar was ready for it. He lined it into left field.
Again, if something works the first time, wouldn't you go right back to it until the hitter makes the adjustment? He went right back to the fastball, up and away, exactly where Steven Duggar was looking for. Give Duggar a lot of credit. Pitch up, misses location. See where Austin wants it. He wants it down instead, gets it up. But you have to repeat the delivery to see if the young player can make that adjustment on the fly. Really good piece of hitting right there.
So now Belt, a chance here for the Giants, and a check swing foul. Yikes, as a hitter, you just relieved that that one goes foul. And Brandon Belt's one of those guys that we've been talking about, these core Giants players who've been around for a long time. They need production from Belt. Evan Longoria led the Giants last year with 16 home runs. And the Giants just had a power outage. They need power from Belt. That
Good
one
pitch.
just missed.
Really good pitch. Brandon Belt, low ball hitter. Who just hits his spot.
You got Longoria on deck, a breaking ball. Oh,
Committed too early. Those are the ones that you're happy that you fouled them off. Had no legs behind it, was committed, hands were already committed, but he was able to just put a little bit of the bat on that ball.
so Arias has gotten ahead of the count. He got ahead of Duggar, couldn't put him away. What about Belt? He got him to chase. So the strikeout, Giants threaten but do not score. The two guys in charge of these storied franchises, Andrew Friedman, Farhan Zaidi, going to join us coming up next.
I can't believe it.
That we just hit the mother load of soft serve ice cream.
I got cones. Anybody wants one?
No, I can't believe how easy it was to save hundreds of dollars on my car insurance with Geico.
We struck sprinkles!
Believe it. Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Shazam! What are your superpowers?
I'd like to purchase some of your finest beer, please.
Shazam is easily one of the most fun superhero movies ever made.
Wait, what?
It's ridiculously entertaining,
I don't hear any.
unlike anything DC has done before.
Are you making some of my big speech right now or something? Oh, whatever, screw it.
Shazam, rated PG-13. Experience it in IMAX.
Are you mom? Get set. Let's go. It goes.
It's all right, huh?
NBA superstar. Biggity bounce, biggity, biggity bounce, bounce. When I clap, that stop. Now,
Gatorade Zero. All the electrolytes, zero sugar. Get more out of zero.
It's that line, separating the cut from the contender. It's a blade of grass, a gift of gravity, a moment for victory. It's the margin at the Masters.
Giants, Dodgers. It's a rivalry that's dominated both coasts.
And the Dodgers have won the West on a grand slam.
The faces change,